This question is super mean, but we're going to use kind of like guess and check a little bit of working backwards to help us. And we need to remember where we are in the test. So let's use the question number to sense the difficulty. Right? So we're at number 12 of 30 multiple choice questions. So we're getting to the halfway point. We're getting to the point where things are going to start to get a little bit harder, where the SAT is going to try to slip some things past us, and we need to be extra careful. But if we use the answer choices to guide us, it can help us navigate this story and tell us what's important to care about, right? So if we look at the choices, the only thing that's different is that these signs are in different directions. Literally, the equations themselves, unless I'm missing something here, I don't think so. The equations themselves are the same. The numbers are the same. The process is the same. The only difference is the less than or greater than signs. So when I read the story, I need to pay especially close attention to the less than or greater than signs, the words that we use to express those ideas. So let's go through it. Roberto is an insurance agent who sells two types of policies, a $50,000 policy and a $100,000 policy. Last month, his goal was to sell at least 57 insurance policies. Okay, so how does that work? 57, at least 57, so that means he wants his number to be greater than or equal to 57. Let's keep going. Well, he did not meet his goal. The very next sentence erases what I just wrote. Because if he didn't meet his goal, he didn't get more than 57. He got less than 57, right? He did not meet his goal. But still, the total value of the policies he sold was over $300,000. So that means it was greater than 300,000. Let's keep reading. Let's make sure there's no other traps. Which of the following systems of inequalities describes X, the possible number of $50,000 policies, and Y, the possible number of $100,000 policies that Roberto sold last month? So, we've got it. Less than 57 means it's not going to be B, and it's not going to be D. And so that checks that part off. And then greater than 300,000 is going to be C, right? Greater than 300,000. So there's no real math here, right? We didn't have to add anything. There's no multiplication. There's no any sort of math operation. But what we do need to know is how to read a story and how to answer questions on the SAT, because your math teacher in school would probably never try to do this to you. They're just testing whether or not you understand that at least and over, at most, those kinds of words, what do they mean? How do they become inequality symbols? How do they translate? But this is special. It's a special kind of test that's testing the way you think and the way you read and the way you would follow instructions. They slipped in this extra special thing where he did not meet his goal. So the thing that we had originally thought doesn't work. And that's why most people, when they get this wrong, they get choice B because they misread or don't read that part about him not meeting his goal. We've got to pay attention to where we are in the test. If we were at a number 2 out of 30, then sure, your first reading is probably going to be right. The direction of the inequality symbols is probably going to be very intuitive, and there won't be any traps at all. But when we get to like the medium and the hard questions, the SAT is going to try to throw stuff by us. And so we have to be on our toes and be careful. We have to remember that this is an SAT, not a math test. It's behaving differently. It follows different rules. And if you remember that, then you got a little bit of a pause that gets you that time to kind of think it through and double check yourself before you just blindly pick choice B and move on. So that's what we're trying to do, is just slow ourselves down enough that we don't get trapped and tricked by these answer choices. This is a great question. If you got it wrong, you're probably mad. But it's on you. You didn't read. The SAT put the answer plainly in text. It's obvious. You did not read. You did not follow instructions. Learn from this lesson. They're going to do this again. And if you lose those points again, shame on you. You can avoid that. It's an easy 10 points.